you think because you see somebody now, you know, whether they wearing a fur or a little bit of jewelry or whatever, they carry something, you think, oh, they were born like that. No, they worked for it.
That work. And niggas neglect the work. They neglect the process even because they strictly, like your song said, the highlights. Man, listen.
Yo, I got a lot of living to do before I die. I ain't got time to waste. Time don't wait. Everything costs. Time been money. I don't fool with homie. Slime been funny. I don't do no jokes unless I'm the one telling them. Y'all nasty like 69. Y'all boys telling. Stay away from goofies. This is not a movie. Avoiding loopholes from U-Haul, you don't move me.
Peace, big love, big blessings, even bigger living. Everything that come with it and everything in between. You are tuned in to Thinking Out Loud with Samuel David. I got one of the most special guests today, but before I introduce my great friend, got to give a major shout out to our location sponsor, Mulberry Art Gallery here in Wichita, Kansas. You see the art behind us on the side of us. Shout out to the artists. If you like what you see, pull up to Mulberry Art Gallery if you're in the Wichita, Kansas area. Drop a comment as well on the art you see. Got to give a major shout out to my main man, Gabriel Booker, our producer, man behind the lens. He might break the fourth wall. We'll see how it goes down. And listen, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, share on YouTube, Thinking Out Loud with Samuel David, Thinking Out Loud Convo on your social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and Thinking Out Loud with Samuel David on your podcast locations and subscription services. I just wanted to get all that shit out the way. Today I have a very special guest, a great friend of mine. He's a father, a husband, executive director of Heroes Academy, rule breaker, cigar connoisseur, youth advocate, champion of the community, hip hop artist. Man, today I have the most amazing Kyle Ellison. What's up, brother?
Well, man, I appreciate you, bro.
Yes, indeed.
It's a little much, but you know, I'll take it. It's cool.
Hey, I try my hardest to only speak truth.
Yeah.
And truth to
And
power.
you big on the roses, right? Like
I love, roses are important.
Yeah.
Because a lot
it's
of
my
times
favorite flower too.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Which
my
color?
wife would tell people that red for sure.
Red roses.
Yeah.
I try to make sure wifey get roses like every week, like new roses. And I can't turn the fan on in the living room even because it'll kill the roses and dry them out and all that shit. But I love to give people roses in real life because I think oftentimes it's easy for us to be caught so much in our work we're doing or us to feel like we're not doing enough and don't recognize how dope we are. And you are dope as fuck, bro. Like in real life. That's why I love having conversations with you. We've had great conversation off camera and in real life, not even just today. But I gotta take it a step back. My favorite question to ask before we jump into any conversation.
We just gonna start like that?
That's how we go. That's how we go. That's how it goes, man.
All right.
How is your spirit, Kyle?
My spirit?
Yeah.
Damn, you go deep. It's good, actually. You know, I had a hard couple years, you know, and I fell back on a lot of things in life, man. Just needed to, I think, become probably one with myself. And I mean, not that I knew anything different, but, you know, just some things that happen in life make you step back and reflect. And so I say my spirit is really good. Like the people that matter to me that I've lost, they still speak to me. They still talk to me. And they talk to my spirit, and they let me know that I'm doing, like, this whole thing, it was a mission, and I'm finish the mission. Yeah. So my spirit is good.
I love that. I hate that you said actually, like you was almost doubting that your spirit was good. Like you felt like you was somewhere else, but yeah. I love to hear that, man. And you talk about people that you've lost. You talk about having a tough year. I was listening to Town on the way. Like you my mans, but I still got to do my research. I still got to dive deep into it. And I'd be remiss I can't think of which track it was because there's no titles on the songs. Yeah, Each one is track, right?
Yeah.
And it may be the single you released, but you mentioned and I'm butchering the lyric, forgive me.
No, you good.
This past year was hard. I got more tattoos.
Yeah.
Break that down. What's that lyric mean? Like,
yeah, you know, yeah, it was, you know, I've always looked in my life. I started getting tattoos when I was 18.
okay.
I think younger people now, they get them like early 16. They getting them.
Kids being intramural basketball practice.
Right.
Tatted
When
up.
I was, you know, I mean, you had to really wait till 18. And I remember the first tattoo I got was a friend of mine who died in a motorcycle accident. And so I have a lot of tats. I know when I got to like 25 tattoos, I stopped counting. So I don't know how many I have now, but they're all like battle scars to me. So when I said that line in that song, and I don't know what song it was on either, but when I said that line, like my brother's on me. You know, I got my brother. And the thing for me when I made that tattoo was I believe that I'm working to try to do some really great things. So I want to make sure, because he was always a big inspiration to me. So he's on me so that wherever I'm at, I want to make sure he's on that journey, because if it wasn't for him, I don't think I'd do the things that I'm doing. And sometimes if you see photos of me, like you'll see his image on my arm. Like I purposely positioned it in a place where, not that I like do this before we take a photo or something, but I wanted to, if by chance it happens, you see him, because without him there would be no me. You know, and I got my mom on my chest, you know, as well. And you know, that's a sore subject or whatever, but nonetheless, your mother's your mother. And you know, sometimes like people, they joke because they say you light skinned, or you dress like you light skinned. So I wear a shirt super low cut, but you'll see my mom right here on my chest, and angel wings and all that stuff. And I just think, you know, people help us become who we are, and even when they're gone, they're still with you on the journey. And 100%. So I just want to represent that.
Man, I love that. I love the intentionality behind it. I know you're a very intentional person. I don't think there's much you do that's not on purpose, or even in purpose, right, in real life. And battling, managing, walking through grief even, is hard as fuck. I will say, excuse my language, but it's hard as fuck. But even as I'm listening to Town, like, it sounds like a project that was intentionally put together. Like you said, you can't get your words out.
Yeah.
But he hear you. Town hear you.
Yeah.
Right? How difficult was it to put together a project like that? And I'll walk it back a little bit even. Like when I dropped Sound Advice, it was out of grief. But as I'm doing it, it started to become intentionally to battle grief.
Yeah.
Right? But when I'm listening to Town, I'm like, yo, bro is really like, he put these headphones on, step to this mic to get this out.
Yeah.
What was that process like for you?
Yeah, I can say, I mean, you know, I don't remember the last time I wrote a verse.
Yeah.
You know, like I've tried, or I've gotten to a place where I just want to be honest and be truthful. Mm-hmm. In the Town album, when I wrote that, I remember I did that album in 3 days. I wrote it, but like I recorded in 3 days. Yeah. And there's a line on there where I say something like, damn, I'm be mad. Cause I'm mad because I don't remember exactly the lyric, but it was something about like a resurrection, and it took me 3 days to make Town, and now I can't stop seeing ghosts. And everything about Jesus and the resurrection, but that's how it felt for me. And when I was making that album, it felt like my brother was with me. Like the lyric, I think it's my dopest work for sure. And my brother was an amazing lyricist, way better than me. Okay. And it felt like he was right there with me. You know, I think there's another line where I said something about sparring. You know, I'm sparring. I said I'm sparring him, and it feel like shadow boxing type of thing. And that's what it was for me. Like it's like I'm boxing me, but it's him. Yeah. And you know, so I guess, you know, to go back to your question, it just allowed me to be able to, you know, he was the whole reason I started rapping. You know, I just wanted to be like my big brother. And I have another brother too, like an older brother, who I very much admire and this and that. But Town was when we were, I mean, growing up, I'm like, yo, like he raps? Like, what do you mean? Only people on TV rap, but this dude raps, and it's my brother. And he just taught me a lot of dope things, and even beyond rap, just life lessons. You know, he was definitely, if a such thing exists on earth, he was like a guardian angel for me. And he still is to this day.
Word.
Yeah.
Wow. So he was sound like guardian angel while he was here, as well as in his earthly passing, because he's still with you.
Yeah.
How would you say his passing changed you as a man? And I ask that, recognizing that as brothers, we don't always communicate our emotions the most effectively.
Yeah.
Right? Because the things that we're told traditionally, how to be a man. Men don't do this. And I don't even know who made up these rules.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking the
they
other
all
day,
man-made.
They all man-made. Like who was the dude that was like, oh, men don't cry?
Yeah.
Who made that rule up, right? But as you've coped with his passing, how has that changed you as a man?
I think what it is. For me, what you do is reflect on like the times you had, and you remember certain things that they said to you that resonates or that you never forgot. So I remember one time I was dealing with something difficult with my mother and my wife, and I remember my brother calling me and he was like, "Yo, like at the end of the day, man, right is right and wrong is wrong, and just always side on the side of right." And so you remember those things. I never forgot that when he said it. But what that makes you do is take out the personal element. Forget the name. Forget who's associated. Forget it's your child, or it's your aunt or your uncle, your mother, your father, whatever, a friend. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And if you're willing to be true to that, people might not love your answers or your opinion on a thing, but at the end of the day, if you're strong to that, if they don't like it, well, I'm sorry you don't like it, but I'm gonna side on the side of right. Even when I'm wrong and somebody calls that out on me and I gotta look at them like, damn, they right. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So, so that part, just little things like that. But I think ultimately, or beyond that, what I would tell you is it made me appreciate time. My brother was 40 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm 36. So in my mind, I definitely operate in a manner. Some people say I move really fast or too fast. Like, man, take time to slow down, this and that. And they're not wrong. But I also just like, I don't know when the end is here. So for me, I gotta move in a manner to accomplish everything I came here to accomplish. And when I go, I go. And I need me or anybody around me to say, he did his thing.
Word.
Because we don't know when it ends. And that's how I operate. That's how I feel.
No, I like that. It's there's a sense of urgency in that, and I think a lot of times it's easy to look at life and kind of lollygag.
Yeah.
Go through the motions, not realizing how quick this thing could go, and oftentimes it takes death to realize the importance of life, the irony in it. But on the flip of that, do you ever stop and smell the roses? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to not. You know what I mean? Like, do you smell? We talked about roses as we were sitting down. But do you ever stop and smell the roses?
Yeah, I'm laughing because no, I don't. Not enough. I do. I mean, I do more. When I was younger, not at all.
Okay.
But now I definitely can appreciate. But I've had a couple meetings this week with investors, my family. People always talk to me about how I just never stop to enjoy like the journey or accomplishments, right? Like you've done X, Y, Z in the last whatever amount of time, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like you should do it. I would tell somebody else, oh man, I enjoy the win. But again, like I've always operated in this mindset. Even when I was younger, this is before a lot of loss and whatnot. I've always been like what's the next thing? When I was rapping and the radio thing, I'm like, what's the next record? What's the next show? What's the next? I never cared to, because to me, I'm a very in the moment person. Okay. So when you're doing your thing and you're in the moment, like right now we in this moment, I'm very excited to be here, by the way. I didn't get to say thank you. The way you started the show, I didn't get to say the things I had prepared, but but I'm thankful to be here. Word. But as soon as I walk out this door, I'm right to the next thing, which is my daughter's basketball game tonight. Like I'm just in the moment. So I don't stop to be like, damn, I finally made Sam's podcast. I won't be that way. Yeah. I just keep going, and when it airs and then people comment, then you're like, oh, that's what's up. But I've already moved on. Yeah. So I've just always been that way. And people tell me like, oh, you should stop and appreciate. But I don't know, I feel like that's what creates how'd you word it just a minute ago? Like lackadaisical?
That lackadaisical, going through the motions.
That's what, to me, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just know for me, it's always about now, like, okay, cool, we did that. Now what's next? And I don't think that's great. I'm trying to do better. But
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about what's next. Always.
It's some irony in that, bro, because I recognize like most of the greats, like when they talk about how they became as great as they are, humbly even, right? They talk about the amount of work, the sacrifice, all these things they had to do to get there. And then in retrospect, it's always like, yo, I wish I would have had more time to do this, or I should have did this, right? It's a weird way that this whole thing works. And I don't think it's a right or wrong to it. I think it's a genuine learning lesson, because it takes a high level of sacrifices and investments to reach the goals that we have in this world. You know what I'm saying? And I like to say investments more than sacrifices, because sacrifices means you giving something up.
Yeah.
Investments, you getting that shit back eventually.
I agree.
Right. But I gotta ask, when's the last time Kyle Ellison, because you're doing dope things, I'm watching your social media posts, and I know you don't like to post on the socials like that.
I'm
right?
back now.
I see it, and I love it. Right, but you celebrating or acknowledging the different committees, panels, boards, funding opportunities, the work that you're doing with Heroes Academy, right? So you're now showing those highlights essentially. When was the last time you really stopped and smelled the roses? Because I can imagine you probably posted it and be on to the next after you. You don't even engage
as soon as I posted, it's done. I'm gone. I'm out. Yeah. You know, on that note, you know, me and my wife was just speaking the other day about just about life and really this exact topic, you know, and and I just, you know, I want her to do it. I appreciate what you've done, you know, and I want my daughter to do it. She's come so far in her hooping and schooling and all that stuff. And for me, I'm sure when they look back, I don't know. You know, my thing is I just don't really care. Like, if I'm just being honest, like I don't care. You know, I think there's a difference. You were talking about like what Grace has said. Like, I'm not concerned about no statue of nothing for me.
Word.
You know what I mean? I think if I look at some folks before me, and I don't want to say no names and nothing, but I just look at people who wanted the admiration or the pedestal or the thing. I don't care about none of that. I just care about the work and the progress and the end result. I really just care about the end result. If somebody ever wanted to put a statue of me or anybody else, that's cool. Do that. Like, y'all, that's what y'all decide. You know, my brother, going back again, my brother used to tell me when I used to rap, man, so on some hip hop stuff. When I first came out, right, XV, man, he was the guy, and I felt like I could compete. I was like, man, I feel like I can, you know, and he had the whole King of the City thing, and I'm like, oh, King of the City. I'm saying this stuff in songs to kind of, one, I felt that way, but also to was it evoke a
Evoke
reaction.
that emotion, yeah, for sure.
And I remember my brother saying to me at one point, he was like, man, don't worry about that. You just do what you do and let everybody else talk about it. And at that moment, I never ever said no King of the City line again. I never ever, and I said, damn, it makes sense. So even to this day now, you know, 15, 19, yeah, damn, getting old.
You got the gray in the beard, I got the gray on the top. It's not old though, it's wisdom.
Yeah.
It's wisdom. Keep going.
Years later, that's still the same mindset for me. Like, people will say like, oh man, you doing X, Y, Z, this and that. You know, I just believe in what he taught me, man. I just let everybody else say it. I'm just gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep my head down. I'm gonna keep working. I do appreciate it though. Like, I love like some of the perks or things that come. Like, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, I still gotta get up and go to work tomorrow. You know, I still get up, put my pants on, my shoes on. I still gotta get to work. Like, cause giving me or anybody else something for the things that we do, whether it's for kids or for the homeless or for, you know, battered families and so on. If those families are still out there, then what you award me for? Like, I don't understand that. I don't get it. There's still kids that need, so don't give me no trophy.
Still work to be done.
It's still work to be done.
Man, and I think that takes pressure off of it too.
Yeah.
Like, when you don't, like, when I was actively rapping, I was saying I was that dude, right? And that was part of my shtick, though. That was like part of my character. And then I kind of shifted from that. But before I even jumped off the porch with it, like, I remember you and XV. It was, in our generation, it was you and XV, and I'm like, yo, those are the guys. It's tangible. Those are the guys that I want to be like. Like, y'all trajectory was crazy. Like, I want to say both of you. I know Eggs was signed. I feel like you were like in the cusp of being signed to a national recording art deal as well. Do you ever have any regret on how that, I mean, of course now I guess in hindsight, but do you have any regret on the way that went for you?
Never.
None.
Nah, you know, there's so many stories people don't really know. I had a production deal out of Toronto with people that work with Drake. I was managed by Bad Boy.
Word.
And, you know, when things got tough, I was, again, me and my wife, you know, we speak, obviously we talk, we live in the same house. And just the other day, just the other day I was talking to her and I said, yo, I realized like my purpose, or not, I mean, I think I've been known, but I'm just saying like going to purpose. There was a point in music where, I mean, I was doing my thing and it was great. And then there was these points where there was these things I had to deal with, these obstacles, whether producers was trying to hold my music back, you know, and, you know, you're not in control of your situation. And I was like, man, well, forget it, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, oh, I'm done. And I don't care. Like, I mean, I cared. I really cared. I wanted to really do music.
For sure.
But now, fast forward to today, I've dealt with way harder things doing work for these kids, and I didn't leave. There was no escaping. There was no, oh, I'm out. Nah, like, this is what I'm invested in. I care about these kids and the work we're doing, and I'm not leaving. So to me, it helps us shape purpose to realize, like, damn, like that situation, I was like, oh, forget it, I'm out. Y'all can have it. This, I ain't left nothing. Nobody knows, you know, and I don't know how much business I'm giving on this platform. But to go from having, you know, pandemic hurt a lot of people. You know, and as an organization to go from, you know, $350,000 to then seeing in the bank account $2,000. No one knows. You know what that feels like? And you're the one responsible, so you have to bring it back. Now, the rap me, let's put it back in. If it was rap, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm out. This ain't gonna work. Yeah. Like, I'm cool.
100.
This, I said, nah, like I gotta figure it out. You know what I mean? So, it just helps you identify who you are and what you're here for, in my opinion. You know, anybody else could feel different, but that's how I feel.
I got one last question in the music realm. Then I want to jump to that because when you talk about that type of loss, I know in situations it's easier to stay because it's bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? And it's more purpose driven. But music wise, I just got to hit on this real quick, man. And I offer my sincere apology. Right?
Oh, shit. Where we about to go with this?
We had a hit. We have a hit record.
Oh,
collectively.
Biffa, yeah.
Biffa, bitch, I feel amazing. And I dropped the ball on that one. Getting in my own head, right? And my lack of, it's life, but I don't think we've had light conversations about it.
Where you gonna go? Where you gonna go with this?
We've
never talked about this.
We've never talked about it.
No.
Right, but I recognize that whether it be my own ambition, short-sightedness even, I didn't allow that record to go as big as it could have. For me, you, and Trey, Freddie High. And I feel like that record to this day is a record that is bigger than our hometown.
Yeah.
And I just have to say my bad for dropping that ball. And I just had to say that out loud.
Hey, you good. On that note, you know, I appreciate that. Thank you.
100%.
But I don't hold no, you know, I think that life's just about lessons and learning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think for me personally, I think the record is amazing. It's still dope. It's still dope right now. I put up with a lot of records that's still coming out to this day, and I know the city was super behind it, but you know, art is art. Like, you make that in a moment. Again, it's still about the moment. Like, it's just that in that moment, it was dope and we did our thing, but you know, there's lessons learned from that, from all parties involved, you know, and then it's just what you do with those lessons to move forward. But you know, I'm a big firm believer of if there's any type of animosity and I don't have any, but I'm just saying, you know, it only hurts the person that's holding it, you know, pain or negativity or whatever. It's a gift. I talk about this to people all the time. If I'm mad about something or whatever, if I got negative energy and I give it to you, it's a gift, right? But you can decline it. But if you take it, then now that gift, you got to walk on with that gift until you give it to somebody else. And that's whack.
100.
So I don't want to give anybody no negative gifts or
Yeah.
grief. Now, unless they deserve it. Don't get me wrong. Like I think I posted on New Year's. I said, "Happy New Year's, everybody. May you get the best that you deserve, or all that you deserve, or something like that." I meant that. Now, if it's negative, then you deserve that too.
That's yours. Yeah.
But I do wish people the best. But if you deserve the worst, then I'm sorry. You know, it's the way it all worked out. But I appreciate you saying that. And I think we made a dope record for the city, and it was a moment in time that I hope people never forget. So that's all that matters to me.
I like that. Man, you talk about wishing the whatever people receive, and that whatever you have, giving it off to folks. Something I always tell Lil Sam is your feelings are your feelings.
Yeah.
Like, I can never take your feelings away from you. I don't care how you feel.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying like I don't care how you feel, but how you feel is how you feel, but you can't give them away.
Yeah.
It's irresponsible to give that anger, frustration, or disappointment to somebody else. So that's a dope in alignment type situation. I got to jump to Heroes Academy. And not even just Heroes Academy, this passion that you have in general for the youth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you are somebody that comes from, speaks like, right? A lot of the places that a lot of our youth come from, right? The kids that may get discarded for whatever reason. I recognize kids get discarded for being some of the more challenging kids, or even kids that are excelling. They get overlooked sometimes because it looks like they're doing so well.
Yeah.
Where did you get that passion for the youth, bro? Like, cause it is, you are truly a champion of the kids.
I appreciate that.
100%.
I think it's natural for sure. Like, it isn't, I don't think it came, but from anything in particular. But what I can say is that, I think I said earlier, like, I was these kids. So when I see these kids, when I'm in these schools or certain, situations, and the kids are speaking about things about their upbringing, maybe it's their home life or how they feel about a teacher treating them, or how they feel in school, with the administration and so forth, man. Like, I know those feelings. Like, I was a really smart kid, but and this is no knock on school. It's just given the whole realm of what everything is. So I did something really stupid when I was in middle school.
Just one thing stupid in middle school?
I did a lot of things.
Okay,
But this one thing I got caught for.
Okay.
And they were like, well, for him to continue school, he got to go to a psychiatrist. It was crazy. And it was like 48, I think I do 48 hours of like therapy. Okay. And when I did this thing, so they didn't do all these tests. My mom was like, well, what's going on? His grades, they suck and all this stuff. So they do all these tests and they're like, oh, he's really smart. Mm-hmm. Like, school in the classroom is just a boring setting to him.
Word.
So they're like, he's acting out because like he's ready for the next thing, and this is still testing. I've never been a good tester. I still ain't a good tester to this day. We for Heroes Academy, we do a training on mentoring and stuff, and I gotta we gotta watch these videos and reading the test come. I got the utmost anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to get a drink. I'm like, man, I don't know. And mine's like, I know, but the test format it kind of scares me. And so the thing is, when I think about kids, sometimes some things are just scary. Yeah. And I get that. I get, we live in this world, man. I just posted something today on social media about systems. So I was rolling out, I was riding today, and this lady asked me, she said, it's great work you do with the kids. It's got to be challenging. And I said, well, no, the kids are the easy part, because kids are kids. I said, what's hard is the systems in place. We always talk about kids needing to be resilient, needing to be, just strong and all these things. But what we don't address is, what do they have to be resilient against? Why do they have to be that? What's the problem? Are they a child or are they an adult? Yeah. What are they dealing with? And so it's these things, it's the environment, the circumstances they have to live with. So I'm here to battle the circumstances and the environment. That's what I'm here to do. The kids, I have a team that works with these kids to help them do the best job they can do in the world that has been presented to them. 100. I didn't have that. The world that was presented to me sucked. It sucked. It was shitty. Yeah. And I did my best. And I'm cool. I mean, I've done all right. But kids shouldn't have to grow up. And I honestly, what's crazy, when you grow up a certain way, you just think that's just life. Yeah. Until you get older and you meet people who didn't grow the way, they're like, you went through that? And I'm like, well, yeah, that was normal. And they're like, no, it's not. That's when stuff starts to mess with you. You like, it's not? So for me, my passion with these kids is that I don't think that they're in situations they should have to be in, but there's different reasons, no blame on nobody, but systems and things are set up the way they are. Right. And I just don't believe that it has to be that way for anybody. I think anybody deserves a fair shot. And, what we try to do is, even the platform just a little bit so that they feel like they got the same launching pad as somebody else.
Hey, have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? Listen, I got something for you. It's an easy giveaway. All you got to do is make sure not only are you watching this video, but subscribe to the YouTube Thinking Out Loud with Samuel David. Also, drop a comment under this video, and you'll easily be entered into a drawing for this pod mic, this Rode microphone dynamic podcasting microphone. You want to talk to your people? You want to be heard? I got the hookup like Black and Blue. Holla at your boy.
I think that, so I did a thing. So I'm gonna give you the backstory. When I was pursuing my master's, I had I did this paper actually on society, Black Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans. Mm-hmm. And one thing about Black culture specifically, and it ain't just us, but we're a higher percentage. And in our mind, when we grow up, we have to either be, to make it, you either got to be an entertainer, an athlete, or something illegal. I mean, those are like the options. We don't see any version of us on TV, for the most part. Now it's getting better with like Blackish and things like that. But I was making a point, that as parents, we only invest in those three narratives for our kids. So if a kid plays football, we will buy them all the pads, the cleats, all the camps. My daughter plays basketball, and she's in everything. But mind you, I want to be clear about this. This is her passion. If she decides she wants to play piano, I put her in every damn piano thing that exists. Mm-hmm. But her basketball is her thing, and that's fine for me. But as parents, what we do is we invest in all of the other stuff. The cleats again, the camps, the pads, the New Jerseys. We will go out and fundraise and do all the shit. But let your kids say they want to be a photographer. That's the specific point you're talking about. We'll be like, well, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do you mean? They can't go to a photography camp over the summer? You can't buy them a new camera? Or this lens and this lens and this lens and the bag? Yeah. But let it be football, we'll do all that. Or basketball, we'll do all that. But we can't associate with the arts until, and here's what happens, and this is what I noticed in my life personally, until there's success, when people are like, oh man, they the next Gordon Parks. Now your parents jump on.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's bullshit.
It takes some type of outside validation or affirmation of the gift or the passion.
And that's a societal thing that we do. And we should just believe in our kids. I believe that if a child, I don't care if they want to do, I'm trying to think of something, not ridiculous, but like, something, if they want like, man, I just really love, if a kid walked into a room today and they were like, man, I love the flooring. I don't know, if your kid was 7, they're like, Mom, look at the floor. And they're touching it. Well, I don't know, shit. They seem to be into this shit. Maybe we need to introduce them to somebody that does flooring, and let's just see what's up. Because I just want my child to be happy.
Factuals.
I don't care about my dream. I hooped to like a certain extent. If my daughter, she loved hooping, and then she says she want to be a teacher. But she also loves hooping. She wants to go to college. I think if she ever had the opportunity to play professional, she would do it. Word. But she just loves kids. So if my daughter hooped up to whatever point and then decided, I'm going to go teach now, are you happy? That's my question. Or coach even. Or coach, which we talk about it. She talked about training. Are you happy? Not about, well, I wanted to play pro, so you gotta go pro. I think that's a backwards mentality for us. Yeah. And we should just invest in our kids' dreams, whatever their dreams are. Because again, to back with what I said, I think you come to this earth for a reason.
100%.
So if they here for their reason, that ain't my reason. Let me get out the way. Same way I run Heroes Academy is about, I'm very consistent. Yeah. So Heroes Academy is about bringing in good people. People who you are just good, genuine people that have us talent and skill. Mm-hmm. You hire them for a reason, then get out the way. Word. And what I understand there for? If I gotta still be there, then I should have just did the job. Fact. Let me move.
True
not
leadership.
enough CEOs and people in those positions do that. Parents, whatever. People don't like what I say all the time. Some people think I'm anti-sports, but I'm like, yo, you don't understand. Like, I'm with my kid at basketball stuff 4, 5, 6 nights a week. So I'm not anti-sports. I'm anti them not following their passion.
Yeah.
I'm anti them following your passion. I'm anti all of that. And I will be that till I die, and I'm fine with it. I don't care.
No, that's a super real thing. Like, it makes me think of something it gives me 3 different thoughts, because now we're really thinking out loud. And I love your passion behind it.
Thanks. I don't know. I feel like I went in.
I love
apologize.
it. I love it. I love the passion talking. But no, it's like something as small as, let's say your kid might be drawn on the walls or something, and then we get mad at them. Like,
why?
Maybe they want to be an artist, right? Like, those little things that kids do that truly show us.
Yeah.
They tell us all the time through their actions what they want to do. But as parents, oftentimes it's either ignored or we're tired or whatever reason, or even trade schools.
I think, to your point, I believe people are who they are from the beginning. When I look back over life, when I think of like a baby, I think of my niece. I remember when she was born. She's a grown woman now with her own child. Sure, I just might got 2. She's been the same way she was when she was born. She's still that now. She's a grown woman. I'm like, yo, she was a baby. She was just like this. Mm-hmm. I think people are who they are when they get here. And I think, to the point of what you were just making, if a kid is doing something really early on, let's just embrace it versus being anti. I think now it's funny, I'm in a lot of things, right? Like the Chamber and the Heroes Academy and just different rooms. And in all honesty, the stuff people are like, man, you're so authentic and you do your thing. That's what I hear. Yeah. And while I appreciate it, don't get me wrong, I appreciate it. But these are the same things I got in trouble for as a kid. When I was a kid, you're not following the rules. You're not being like everybody else. So I said, well, so it's school to tell people how to be, but now as an adult, it's celebrated to be different. Yeah. But in school, it's reprimanded to be different. We got this thing we say at Heroes Academy about what's the point. And I ain't gonna lie, I saw it on something. And I said, oh, I love that. And then we kind of made our own adaptation to it. But at the end of the day, again, we work with kids. Yeah. What's the point of showing kids the world just to tell them they can't have it? Doesn't make sense to me. Don't show them nothing. Just keep them. You remember the movie The Village? Y'all remember The Village when it came out? Yeah. It was just in that little thing, and they was like, wait a minute, we in 2020, or 2019, but we living like we in 1654 or whatever. Like, what are we doing?
That part. Like they say with an elephant, right? You keep them tied up, they only go as far as the rope does, and then untie them, they still only go as far as that rope led them before. Yeah. It's a real thing. Man. Me and Lil Sam, so we got a rule like, you got to read after school, you got to read for 20 minutes, you got to write for 20 minutes. And he was like, and he hit me with a thing that I didn't have a good answer outside of what has been traditionally taught. He said, Dad, I was just at school for 8 hours reading and writing. Yeah. And now I don't know where you're about to go with this, but I'm excited. But ahead. It was so simple. He said, and now I got to come home and read for 20 more minutes. And I said, you know what? I liken that to if I put in work for 8 hours, then I got off work and I did more work for 20 minutes. Just because that's the tradition, or that's the world, or so I can test better. Yeah. Right? And I was like, damn, I had no genuine answer for that. And I think it's important in that same lens, and I know with the work that you do with the youth, to give the kids an opportunity to be kids. Like, bro, I was a case manager for a little bit. And one of the things that I noticed more than anything in these classrooms, the kids do not have an opportunity to be a kid. So they acting out. Yes, the structure of school, let me be careful how I say it because I don't want to make it an absolute, but oftentimes the structure of school is similar to the structure of prison. It's a structure of strictly discipline. Mm-hmm. It's not a structure of expression. Mm-hmm. It's not a structure of finding that joy, that happiness. It's like, okay, do this. At lunch, you can't talk. In class, you can't talk. You got to raise your hand. Like, the things that make sense traditionally don't always make sense in the real world. Yeah. right? And I know you deal with it often, right, with the kids. And you're talking about the systems that you go up against and that you challenge. And then the authenticity. I think being told you're authentic is very similar to being told you're articulate, because it's like, yo, what the fuck else did you expect from me? Right? But all of those things considered, what's some of the biggest struggles that you find as executive director of this nonprofit, right, that is setting kids up for success? Like, what are some of the biggest struggles that you run up against? Whether it be system-wise, parents maybe not quite fully. The other problem with programs, right? A lot of times programs are good for that moment.
Yeah.
But not too often kids can take that program back home with them, right?
Yeah.
Or the assistance they might gather, right? So yeah, you get this, that, and the third in the school. You might get a case manager pulling up for you for 20 minutes at the school. You might get this program you part of after school, but you still got to go back home.
Yeah.
Right? So I say all of that to say, what are some of the challenges that you and your program run up against as far as a retention or sustainability for the kids?
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna answer it.
Yeah, because I'm sorry.
No, you good. I want you to know. So like, when my daughter was 4 years old, when she was talking and all this stuff, I had this thing about telling her, you know, don't bring me problems, bring me solutions. I was big on that. Like, don't come to me with, Daddy, the such and such under the refrigerator. No, tell me, Daddy, it's on the refrigerator and I gotta climb down and get it.
Yeah.
Bet. Go ahead. Right? So when you say that, you're like, what challenge? I don't operate in that mindset. I just think of like the solutions or things that we've dealt with and how we solved them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. We talk about this at home a lot. Like, I don't, you know, my wife will say, she's like, when you think something or believe something or whatever, like, it just is. You know, like, I don't really, you know, I don't think people can really stop me. I think that sometimes in life, when you look back at what you've overcome or things you've been through, and then you get in these situations, whatever it is today, you're at work, right? You're at work and you're like, yo, damn, my boss is blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yo, like, you know what it's like to have a gun to your head and still survive that moment. So you worried about your boss yelling at you? That's crazy to me. Or you grew up in a home of abuse and parents yelling at you or such. I don't understand how this equates. Like, but it's all perspective. I'm just willing to say, I feel personally, I've been through more than a lot of people in these rooms. And there's no fear for me because I know what it's like to be at nothing and to be in the hood and to have somebody pull a gun on you and you walk away from that. So I'm not concerned about any challenge that's faced in this corporate world or society in this regard or realm of what we're talking about. What I can say though, to answer, cause I don't want to. I just gotta, cause I'm like, it upsets me sometimes. I'm like, people, man, yo, like you think of what you've been through. Like, you in a room full of these type of people, but you're from this, and they can never make it in the situations you came from. So I don't, you know, so I mean, again, I hate this is gonna be filmed, so I don't know, people might be mad at me, but whatever, it's cool. And don't edit nothing when it comes to me. But I will say this, I think, so like parents, we used to talk about it, we were like, man, damn, we teaching these kids all these things, but they still gotta go home. Exactly what you said, I was sitting here like, yep, we had them conversations. We was like, well, you know what? We gotta involve the family. It's not just about working with the kids then, we gotta work with the whole home. We got to bring everybody in. If we're exposing kids to different things and giving these opportunities, let's give it to the household.
I love that.
And then you know what happens? They go home and they talk about it. They go home and they share that. They go home and they feel that, and they reach out to us and they say, "Damn, we love that," or "Thank you," or whatever, you know, blah blah blah. So I would just say that for us, yes, we work with kids, you know, 100%. But we're here to change community. And community, the kids are our future, and we believe it starts with them. So if we do what we're supposed to do with them, and the work goes forward. But if we incorporate them and the people that matter to them most, then it's a collective effort. And then you really start to make change and shift mindset and create a growth mindset.
Word.
And that's what, so to answer your question, hopefully.
No, I love, let me see how I want to phrase this, because I say what the fuck I want to say on the show. I love when niggas is in corporate spaces. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess it's the authenticity, but there's a different mindset that's brought, right? One of my favorite books that I've ever read is The 50th Law.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And something that it affirmed, like, yo, when you've been through some of the worst shit, when you've been through some bullshit, again, it's perspective. When you've been through it, it's like, yo, what you gonna tell me, fam? Or even when folks around you are moving, like you said, they may be complaining or lacking accountability even in situations. It's like, yo, you do realize if you don't get that done, this could be a wrap for you, right? Like just having that mindset, and it's like I don't want to say a survival's mentality, but it's almost like a survivor's mentality.
That felt accurate to me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if this don't get done, then what happens next?
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh no, they stopped me from doing it. Man, I love speaking with you, Kyle. Let me ask you this question. I got a series of questions I love to ask every guest that I sit with. And I've been flipping it differently, right? So you 36, 37?
36.
36.
Don't do that.
I ain't gonna do that. No disrespect. No disrespect. I'm 35. I'll be 36 this year myself. 36. Wow. 10 years ago, 26. Let's fast forward. Let's go back 20 years. If 16-year-old Kyle could see you today, what do you think he would tell you or have to say to you?
That's a good question. I think he'd be proud. Actually, I don't think. Yeah, there's no way in my life. No way I ever. I'm just now in a space. My mom passed away December of 2021, and I appreciate it. But it opened, or I just always was like really hesitant on things I would talk about, just because out of respect, for her and this and that. But I've come a really long way. And I think a 16-year-old me, my mom kicked me out of my home, or out of her house on my 16th birthday, and left me on my dad's front porch. And
like on some go be a man, or like
I'm done with you type thing, And there's no way 20 years ago that I would think that I would have the outlook that I have now, the perspective I have now, or even done the things I have now. I remember when I was first put on the chamber board, and they put me on, and I had to go to the little orientation. It was just me and this other guy, and I was sitting there like, I said, boy, I'm trying to think how I want to word this because we on the thing, but I was just like, man, they didn't let a nigga in from the south side.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought to myself. I said, I can't believe this.
Word.
And so I would say that 16-year-old me would look and just be proud, because this was not, it was a lot of work. It was hard. And for people, like, what you think when you grow up is that some of the things I've been able to do, which I've been so blessed and fortunate, you don't think that you're supposed to be able to do when you grow up like I grew up.
100. I feel you. 110%. But through all your wins, right, through all your losses, right, what affirmed to you that you was on the right track?
I think it's like I want to come with something else, but I don't want to say this answer. I want to say something else, but I have to be just honest, I guess.
Yeah.
It was shortly after my mother had passed. I'm about to say this shit on the internet. It's supposed to be on the internet. I remember I had a dream. I was at my old house that we used to live in, and my mother lived in with us when she passed, and she came to me in this dream. She was there. There was other people there, and she came. I knew in this dream that I'm like, oh, she's not here. Like, why is she in the room? And I was bawling, like a baby. And I'm trying to escape the room, and she looked at me. She looked at me and she said, Kyle Aaron, which is what she always said to me when it was something serious. And she goes, Kyle Aaron. She goes, what's wrong with you? She said, why are you acting like there's not life after death? And then she said to me, finish the mission. Do what you came here to do. Finish the mission. And then I woke up. and tears down my face, all the stuff, whatever. And yeah, that's when I knew.
I got chills, bro. Sheesh. Wow. So I want to couple that question. Because it sounds like even in their passing, your mother and your brother have like, it sounds like you got wings on each side of you, like flying you through this life thing right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How did you come to terms with losing both such monumental figures in your life?
Yeah.
And I say, like, lost my best friend lost a great friend at 16, lost my bestest of friends at 21, right? Lost my biggest father figure right after I lost my grandmother. Lost my father-in-law a couple years ago, and my sister like a couple days after that. She'll still be sitting on me. Mm-hmm. It's not the easiest to navigate. It's not the easiest to have conversations with other brothers about, but I'm a champion of mental health.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how did you come to terms to walk and fight through all of that grief?
Yeah, I don't know that I have, actually.
Word.
If I want to be honest,
Yeah.
I think I still deal with it. I've always had this mindset. People that know me have always said, I'm like, oh, I'm built for it. I've always said this, like whatever life threw at me, I'm built for it. That year though, I was like, oh shit, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm built for it. God don't give you nothing you can't handle. I think that we sign on for what we receive sometimes before we get here. I think that again, I think I'm still probably dealing with it, but I know I got a fire in me, man, and the fire that was in me was put in me by the same people you mentioned. So I would be doing a disservice to not take that fire they did and throw gasoline on it. No, I'm not going, the opposite would be for me to take that flame and throw water on it and put it out.
Word.
Nah, I'm not. Can't nobody stop me, man. Like yeah. Can't nobody stop me. And I mean, I think life still has more things to probably throw at you that'll, be hard to deal with. But, Jay-Z, going back to Jay-Z line.
Hey, I love the Jay-Z quote.
They say, you a candle in the sun, that shit don't even out. Well, I'm either gonna be a candle or I'm gonna be the sun, but I'm lit. I'm lit either way.
Yeah. And
if both is happening at the same time, then I must be the sun. Ooh. I'm not melting. You know what I'm saying? I'm not throwing no water on nothing. They help create the flame. And so all I'm gonna do is keep igniting.
Yeah.
I don't know what other options. I mean, obviously there's other options, but I only move one way.
I love that. Whew. Kyle, you're giving me chills, man. I got one last question. I'm gonna just shut the hell up because I'm just soaking it all in.
Probably long. That's probably like beyond your time. I don't even know what the thing is.
Hey, listen, we here, man. Last thing I want to end with, you a girl dad.
Yeah.
I'm a girl dad. Mm-hmm. How old is your baby girl?
11.
11. Mine will be 15 this year. Shit is real.
Yeah.
How did having a baby girl change you as a man?
That's the best thing ever could happen.
Talk to me about it.
I think, so, what people don't, know, I think there's, we have societal roles, right? And like gender things. So when my daughter was born on the East Coast, and my wife, man, she had like a really good job. So she had our daughter, and then really she needed to go back to work. And we on the East Coast, we didn't know nobody. So I quit my job and stayed home with my daughter for the first year of my life. Or first year of her life, not my life, first year of her life. And, it taught me so much patience. It taught me, and especially, when you look back, again, I don't know like my early days, obviously as a baby, I know my childhood. And it was a tough one. And so to have this literally precious thing like life in your hands, and I think I had a lot of things to deal with, issues and, not issues like I was crazy, but I just mean like things you just never got over, from your parents or things that you went through. And so I'm in this space, just her and I, and it's just quiet. There's no noise. You know, she's gonna cry every now and then, need a bottle. I'm still doing music. I'm recording. She in there with me. I'm going to New York. I'm literally going to Bad Boy with a stroller. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because my wife was out of town traveling, doing her job, because that was the money, you know, at the end of the day. So, you know, even to this day now that she's a hooper, she's 11, she can take care of herself now. She's at the house by herself right now. But I know that I helped and that we helped instill that in her, those things. And, you know, now that she's hooping, it's amazing to me to just be there the same way I was that first year. I'm still there right now. I hardly miss a practice. I don't miss a game. Mm-hmm. I hardly miss a game. You know, but I just think the world is savage, bro. And it's savage towards young ladies and to women especially. So the one thing that I tell
more
you
so
that,
black ones, even.
especially. So the big thing for me, you know, I remember my daughter was 5. I took her to Miami on South. We was on South Beach. My daughter was 5, and I'm showing her everything because I never want her to be surprised by the world. I want her to experience the world with me, and obviously we ain't gonna be able to experience everything, but I need her to be more comfortable. If she sees something outlandish, is that thing when you're young, you like, oh, that's exciting, let's go. I need her to be like, I've seen that before. My daddy told me what that was. Bullshit. We're not going. That's what it did for me. I need my daughter to be, she's so sweet, she's so nice and kind, but I need her to still be a savage. You know, and I think there's both, you know, I got it tatted on my leg, sensitive but still savage. I think you can be, but my daughter's a Cancer just like I'm a Cancer.
It's crazy.
And she's me. My daughter, my wife would be like, she is. God, I mean, her reactions, everything about her is me. She's sweet like her mother, though.
Her face looks just like wifey.
Yeah. Like, but her whole, everything here
is.
She's daddy. And I love it. Yeah. You know, so anyway, it made me better. It just made me better because I just want to do great by her. You know, I didn't get to grow up with my pops like around. And my daughter's never known nothing different. I think for me, my whole life, everything from my mother to growing up, how I grew up, everything taught me not how to be, it was how not to be. And I've spent my whole life, I remember if I think about like a starting point, I remember my whole mindset has always been to turn around and run the other way. I don't know where I'm trying to get to, but I know I'm trying to run as far away from this as possible. And that's everything for me in life, but especially how I raised my daughter. You ready to end the show?
I have one more question for you after that.
Give me one more.
And then I'm gonna close it.
Okay.
I'm gonna close it after that.
That felt good though, but go ahead.
That was amazing, but it teed up a thought of mine, right? Okay. So being a father so close to your daughter. My daughter's a daddy's girl as well, like to the max. And my son is a mama's boy. I call him 2 Chainz, short for Titty Boy.
Yeah, in real life. Oh, he's you though. He's you.
Oh, 100%. Like it's really wild. Yeah. But even looking like you work with young ladies and young boys. Yeah. I seen a question on the internet that was like, can a dad teach his daughter how to be a woman and vice versa? Yeah. And I don't like those type of questions.
Me neither. I thought it was bullshit.
I think it's bullshit, right? Because I don't believe that a man can teach a girl how to be a woman, and I don't think that a woman can teach a boy how to be a man. But I do indeed believe that a man can teach a young lady or a woman can teach a young boy how to be a great person. Yeah. What are your thoughts there?
I echo that. I echo that wholeheartedly. That's it. I think we live in a world now where there's a lot of division and everything is categorized and there's all the different things. And I respect all of it. At the end of the day, man, we're just human beings. I just think if you just choose somebody to be a good human being and to treat other people like human beings, like we could be in a much better place. Word. So I echo that wholeheartedly. I don't think, I think people's preferences and whatever they live by, politics, religion, sex, all those stuff, like, man, that's, cool, like, whatever. Word. But like, are you a good person? Am I a good person? And can we be good people together and help other people be good people and help our community be a better community? That's what matters.
Yeah, that's it. Listen, Kyle, it's been a great conversation. My heart feels full, right? Like, I love having conversations with you. I gotta ask before we part, can you let the folks know where to find any information about the music, Heroes Academy, or any of your work?
Yeah. Dope. Sam, thank you so much for having me on here. It's been a long time coming. I've been waiting.
Yes.
Please follow me, social media, Mr. Kyle Ellison, all platforms. HeroesAcademyKS.com is where you can find out about our organization. And at the end of the day, man, we just want to help kids become the best version of themselves. You know, I think that lots of people, and we all have something in our mind of how the future should look or how kids should be or what they should do. But honestly, that's not for us to decide. It's for them to decide. And Heroes Academy, you know, we just believe about, or what we believe is, you know, we changed the name from Real Men, Real Heroes, Heroes Academy, and we're not here to save kids. We believe kids have the power in them to save themselves, and ultimately, we just want to help them become the hero of their own story. We're just coaching from the sideline.
Listen, I love it. Again, thank you for sharing your story with me today.
Yeah.
I pray that everything that is yours in this life, you continue to get, like in real life. I appreciate the work you put in with the youth, the work you put in for yourself, and the way you pour into yourself is overflowing, right? And I hope that we respectfully can drown in the work that you're doing, right? I pray that your fire stays lit and that you continue on this marathon, getting away from what you came from and continue to change the world in the most magnificent way. Kyle, I love you, bro.
Love you too.
I appreciate you joining me on this beautiful day. It's been Thinking Out Loud with Samuel David. Peace, big love, big blessings, and everything in between.
Dope.
I appreciate you, man.
It's cool?
This was amazing.
All right, good.
This was amazing. We didn't get into nothing we talked about off camera.
I know. We're just
but
crazy.
It was cool.
We do a part 2 sometime if you
We
really
got to
want.
do a part 2.
I got a lot of living to do before I die. I ain't got time to waste. Time don't wait. Everything costs. Time been money. I don't fool with homie. Slime been funny. I don't do no jokes unless I'm the one telling them. Y'all nasty like 69. Y'all boys telling. Stay away from goofies. This is not a movie. Avoiding loopholes from U-Haul, you don't move me.